Last night was unexpected in a way that still lingers in my chest this morning. It didn't arrive with warning or preparation. It wasn't planned, and yet it unfolded as if it had been written long ago, like the universe quietly turned a page and said, "Now." What began as something ordinary shifted into something profound. I was having a conversation with someone outside of us. Not you, not me, just an observer. A curious soul who had noticed the way our names seemed to exist in the same breath. They asked about us casually at first, the way people do when they sense something, but don't yet understand it. "What's going on between you two?" Simple question, but it didn't feel simple. At first, I answered carefully. Surface level. Safe. I spoke in generalities. I described shared laughter, long talks, the comfort we find in each other's presence. But they weren't satisfied with that. They leaned in, not physically, but emotionally. They wanted more. They wanted to understand the undercurrent, the electricity, the quiet depth that hums between us even in silence. And suddenly, I realized I was standing at the edge of something sacred. There's something almost protective about what we share, like holding a fragile flame in your hands. You shield it instinctively from wind and wandering eyes. That's how I've always felt about us. Not because I'm ashamed, not because I doubt it, but because it's precious, and precious things deserve care. So when they continued asking, probing gently but persistently, I hesitated. Exposing something so intimate felt daunting. It felt like unlocking a door to a room only you and I had ever stepped inside. A room filled with unspoken glances, with memories layered like soft light, with moments no one else could fully understand. But then something inside me shifted. Why should something so beautiful be hidden? Why should something so true be whispered instead of spoken? And before I fully realized what I was doing, I started talking. Not carefully, not cautiously, honestly, completely. I told them about the real us, not the version the world sees, not the composed, guarded facade we sometimes present, but the quiet truths beneath it all. I spoke about the way you steady me without trying, the way your voice has the power to calm storms I don't even admit I'm facing, the way your presence feels like home, not loud, not chaotic, just right. As I spoke, it felt like opening a treasure chest inside my soul. Every word I shared carried a memory. Every memory carried a feeling. And every feeling led back to you. They asked me how I feel about you. There was no pause, no searching for the right words. "I care about them more deeply than I can explain," I said. "They are the rhythm to my heartbeat, the quiet strength behind my courage, the light that finds me even in my darkest hours." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't exaggerated. It was simply true. But then they turned the focus towards you. "What about them?" they asked. "What do they feel?" And that question hit differently. Because while I can speak endlessly about my own heart, yours is sacred territory. I wished you had been there in that moment. I wished you could have answered for yourself. I wish they could have seen the way your eyes soften when we talk, the way your energy shifts when we're close. Instead, I did my best to represent us both. I told them about the quiet understanding we share, about the way our conversations flow effortlessly from playful to profound, about how you show up, not always loudly, but consistently, and how consistency, in a world full of temporary things, means everything. As the conversation deepened, I felt the air grow heavier, not tense in a negative way, but charged, like something important was being acknowledged. Something that had existed silently was finally being spoken aloud. Then came the question I knew was coming. "So are you just friends?" Time slowed. That word, just, felt small compared to what we are. I could have deflected. I could have smiled and changed the subject. I could have chosen safety again, but something about the night demanded truth. No, I said, we're more than friends. Saying it out loud felt like lifting a weight I didn't even know I was carrying. It felt like opening a window in a room that had been closed for too long, fresh air rushing in, sunlight spilling across the floor. And in that moment, I realized how powerful honesty can be. The world didn't collapse. The sky didn't fall. Instead, everything felt lighter, warmer, as if the universe itself nodded quietly in approval. But of course, they wanted clarity. What do you mean by more than friends? Are you dating? In a relationship? Labels. The world loves labels. It wants boxes and definitions and clear categories. But what we share doesn't fit neatly inside one word. It's deeper than convenience. It's more meaningful than casual. It's intentional, layered, evolving. We share a connection that goes beyond labels, I explained. It's real. It's deep. It's something we're building with care. I told them that what we have isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about how we feel when we're together. The comfort, the trust, the growth. They asked why we hadn't been open about it sooner. And that question forced me to confront something uncomfortable, my own fear. I admitted that I was afraid of judgment, afraid of misunderstanding, afraid that people might reduce something profound into gossip or speculation. I worried about perception, about expectations, about the vulnerability that comes with being seen. But as I said those fears out loud, they began to lose power. Because what we share is too beautiful to be hidden out of fear. Our connection isn't fragile because it's exposed. If anything, honesty strengthens it. Light doesn't weaken truth, it reveals its strength. Then they asked about the future. What does the future hold for you too? And for the first time all night, I didn't feel nervous. I felt hopeful. I smiled without even meaning to. Our future is bright, I said. It's built on trust, on growth, on choosing each other, again and again. I spoke about commitment, not necessarily in grand, dramatic terms, but in the everyday sense. The choice to show up, the willingness to communicate, the promise to grow together instead of apart. There was something freeing about no longer feeling the need to hide. Secrecy carries weight, even when it's unintentional, even when it's protective. And last night, that weight lifted. As I reflect now, I'm filled with gratitude. Gratitude for the courage that surfaced when I needed it most. Gratitude for the strength of our bond, the kind that withstands questions and scrutiny and still stands firm. And most of all, gratitude for you. You are not just someone I care about. You are my partner in growth, my confidant, the person who sees me without layers and chooses to stay. Our love, because that's what it is, isn't perfect. It isn't effortless. It requires patience. It requires honesty. It requires vulnerability. It is real, and real things are worth the work. You've taught me what it means to open my heart without reservation, to trust without constantly looking for the exit, to embrace connection instead of fearing loss. Every challenge we've faced has strengthened us. Every misunderstanding we've worked through has deepened our understanding. Every moment of doubt has ultimately led to clarity. Last night was simply another chapter in our story, a chapter where truth stepped forward and said, "Be seen." And now, sitting here with everything laid bare, I feel closer to you than ever. I want you to know that when I spoke about us, I spoke with pride, with certainty, with love. There was no hesitation in my voice when I said you mattered to me. There was no doubt when I described the depth of what we share. You are the center of my world, not in a way that diminishes me, but in a way that complements me. You don't replace my light, you amplify it. The journey we're on isn't about reaching a final destination. It's about the moments along the way, the quiet mornings, the spontaneous laughter, the hard conversations that lead to deeper understanding. I'm excited about the memories we'll create, the milestones we'll reach, the ways we'll continue evolving, not just as individuals, but as a unit. No matter what challenges come, I know we'll face them together, with honesty, with courage, with love guiding us forward. So as I finish this, I want you to hear this clearly. You are my greatest blessing, my truest joy, the person I choose, not because I have to, but because I want to. Every single day. Last night was unexpected, but it was necessary. It reminded me that love isn't meant to hide in shadows. It's meant to stand in light, strong, steady, undeniable. And ours is exactly that. Here's to us, to the truth we embraced, to the future we're building. I love you now, openly, and always.